Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Stockradar Stocks on the Move for another week. Today's date is the 15th of January 2026. My name is Richard Lee and I manage the stockradar.com.au website for you. Okay, well, we're having a rollicking ride at the moment, which is a lot of fun for us all. First, I just want to go over the big ones do it just as well as the small ones. Okay, so the ASX 200 stocks, which is where I operate, has a safety net of size and liquidity, which I like. And this is our safety zone and for my clients as well. Okay, at the moment, we've got miners dominating. I know, but when the waves are moving, you stay with it. There are always waves, tech waves, gold waves, retail waves, whatever. It is the nature of the stock market and the humans that drive these waves. So what's next? Well, whatever it is, Stockradar will be on it because we take all signals, of which some we may well be stopped out of, but if they run hard like the miners, we're sure to be there nice and early like we are now. Okay, why do we trade the stock market? Well, for times like these. It is important to take the signals when they come and manage with a stop. We don't know when this will happen, which is why we take every signal. Sooner or later, you'll just hit such a wave that we're having now, and that is why we trade the stock market. Okay, so it's a lot of fun at the moment, and I hope you're all on it. For those of you looking at, for my members looking at the trading centre, you can see the sway of the miners are moving and doing very well at the moment, and still going well. Okay, so firstly, let's get onto the trend intensity ratings and see what they're looking like at the moment. Okay, firstly, we've got BHP at the top. It's starting to move nicely. And Paladin, well, there's a couple of divergent stocks there, different stocks. Paladin can be a bit volatile sometimes, but it is in there. We've got Pilbara Mines. I noticed Bell Potter finally upgraded their weighting to a hold and increased their target after it's gone up about 200%. Go figure. Orica's doing really well, making new highs. Nickel Mines, Champion Iron, South 32 is a good one doing well. So Sandfro on the back of copper. Sims Metal starting to move, and also Stanmore, which is a recent addition on the coal side of it. So that's your top 10 at the moment. All miners at the moment, that's where the focus is. Stock big count at the moment is actually down one this week to 48. So we've got one in and two out this week. So the rotation continues as always. And again, only 48 stocks. So when I look through this industrial sector, the health stocks, the test stocks, they just look awful. So, if we lose the miners, we're in trouble. But anyway, for the moment, they're running and we hang on to that for the moment. Okay, portfolios. We've recently had a couple of energy stocks to our portfolios, Whitehaven and Stanmore. The portfolios are pretty full at the moment. They had a bit of room there for a bit there as we lost a couple, but they're back on board and they're fully equitised at the moment. The overseas markets, they're strong, but we haven't had a correction for a long time. So we don't need to get complacent about the market because it just continues to rise every day just about. So you always got to be prepared. So, in the words of Peter Lynch, every 6 years you're going to get a 25% correction. And if you have a look at your chart, it's been a while since we've had one of those. So we're due at some stage. So as I say, don't get complacent at the moment. Okay, so let's get into the overseas markets and have a look at them, see what they're looking like. We don't have a huge change here at the moment. The S&P and the Dow both making new highs still. Volume's a bit tainted because of the holiday season, which we know, but they're still rallying high above the average, which is fine. So that's the S&P and the Dow. The Nasdaq's a little bit different. Hasn't made a new high since November last year. It's dallied about a bit. We've seen a little bit more selling evident on the Nasdaq. So that's probably one of the weak ones at the moment, but still going higher. There's the last correction we had there back in April, May of last year, which wasn't a huge one, but it was somewhat of a correction. But we are due for a fairly sizable one at some stage soon. Okay, our market. Well, we popped our head above a little bit of resistance here this week. Whether we hold there, we don't know. It's going to be a bit of a flattish day today, I think. If it can hold above this little point here, then we may see a challenge to the highs again. Okay, so although the miners are running, the banks are really holding okay. CBA is not so good, but the other banks, especially ANZ, seem to be fairly resilient at the moment. So they're sort of giving a bit of a base in the market with the addition of the miners there. Okay, then we go across to look at the commodities. So gold, again, I see that, targets are going from 7,000 to all sorts of things at the moment. Silver's going through the roof. It's a pretty wild market there. I don't know where it's going to go. I read an article in the AFR today sort of comparing it to the 1979 rally where the inflation boom was happening there. It may be the same, may not. All I know is if the trend is up, I will follow it. Once it stops, I will get off it. So for the moment, Gold is clearly in an uptrend. It's making a new high this week. Volumes are fine. There's nothing really wrong with all that there. Momentum's good. So why would we doubt this trend? There's no reason whatsoever. So still going higher. Whether it gets to 7,000 or not, who knows? But we'll have to wait and see. Okay, copper. Well, again, we've finally got a bit of lucidity in this market. It's making new highs. We've got some good, a good rally here. Volume is sort of slowly starting to pick up. Last week was quite a good move as we made new highs. Momentum's good, and the moving average signals are good as well. So, although volume has been a little bit light on this one here, it's still going higher, and that's the most important thing, driving our stocks like Sandfire, Rio, and other stocks, Capstone Copper, things like that. And then we've got Brent crude. Well, everyone's got excited about that. I don't really know why, because it's just bounced off the bottom. That's about all we can see at the moment. There's been a fraction of volume there, nothing really significant. We've seen these bounces before, and they've failed, and we've seen lower highs being made again. So we really need to see some sort of high being made. R1 is an interesting area there, which you can see a resistance area there. The last high was there. We haven't got new lows here, which is probably a good sign at the moment, and we've had a bounce. So that's one thing. There's no momentum here. It's just on the average. So again, maybe there's a little bit of encouragement, but that's about as best as I'm going to give you at the moment on crude oil at the moment. Okay, so that's the commodities and the indices. They're all pretty steady there. Now, I was going to go through a few stocks today. It's not a lot of stocks today, but we're really I talked about the trend reversal last week. We want to talk about the new high bit this week, and stocks making new highs. We just love them because that's where we make our bread and butter, and it's a very simple thing, the new high to trade. But you can see Orica here, it made a new high back in June of last year at around $18.50. It's now $26.40 and making new highs. This market looks pretty good. If we look at if I just squeeze up this volume a little bit for you, so you can see it, I'll try and squeeze it up if I can. You can see here there's reasonable volume through. It's very steady through here. When we had this initial rally here, no corrections at all here. It just continued to rise. We had a little bit of a couple of pullbacks, but really nothing really. And a bit of selling here just to balance things off and keep things real, which is good. And it continues high, which is a really good sign. So we've got great momentum here, and the moving average signals are good as well. So it's a trend intensity rating of 10. Simply put, it made a new high, so we buy with a stop, and that's what we do. And now we just follow with a stop as it goes higher. And I don't know where it's going to go, but I'm going to follow it with a stop. Okay, Sims Group, another new stock which took a while to get moving. But if we have a look at sort of the long-term picture on this one here, you can have a look at this one. This goes back to 2022. The old high back there, and we can see we've almost got sort of like an inverse head and shoulders here, a fairly big one too, which suggests we're probably going to get a challenge of these highs at R1, and maybe even further than that, because this is really quite a big reversal, shoulder, head, shoulder. It's just a reversal pattern, or if you like, a rally, higher low, then a new high there. There's lots of things that I can sort of point to and they're suggesting this market's going higher. We also like the volume here, the momentum here. It's above the average, and it's just a great looking chart. Again, we don't get complacent about these things because we know things can change very quickly, but for the moment, this one is running well and is making new highs. Trend intensity rating of 10. A very simple one again. It made a new high here. We buy with a stop. Okay, so that's Sims Group. Downer EDI, which has been a fairly steady riser for quite some time now, but it made a new high back here in April of 25 and hasn't looked back since. So it's had a good rally since then. We simply made a new high here. It's been very, very, very steady rally. And I don't know if you looked at a couple of the other resource mining support stocks, services stocks like NRW, McMahon. There's a few of them there that have all done exceptionally well. And Downer EDI is one of them as well. So we're just raising our stop here. It's still going higher. Volumes have been good. We've got the Christmas period here, which is really doesn't make things difficult. It just sort of just doesn't. You don't want to put too much weight on the volumes. Put it that way. And when people come back after Australia Day, then we'll start getting our volumes back to normal. But for the moment, Downer EDI is making new highs. Momentum is steady. Again, this is just really, it's slowed off a little bit. It just means the acceleration slowed down, and we can see it's slowed down a little bit, but there's no real concern at the moment. It's above our stop, so we just continue to hold it. Trend intensity is rating as 8. As of last week, it might get back to 10 this week if it makes a new high again. Okay, so down the end, so there's 3 stocks for you looking very good. Go down to the smaller end, a gold stock, and I showed you this one a few times again, but I just want to point to you again the fact that when you get a new high, you just hang on to them, you raise your stop and you follow them. In this situation, what we're doing is we're exposing ourselves to unlimited upside, okay, when we get a rally like this. But we've always got a limited downside because we limit that risk always against us. So the great thing about this is we've got unlimited upside, but we've got limited downside. And that's the most important thing about our strategy and how it works. So we just keep raising our stop up here and ensuring that we protect all this money that we've made at the moment. Trend intensity rating is 10 for West Gold. It's making a new high this week. Volumes are a little bit thin again, holiday season, momentum's good. So I'm going to base myself on all these main things here. New highs, moving average, and momentum, and a little bit of thin volume. And we look at this early volume here, it was very, very good. So they're running well, those gold stocks. And we like that. And again, this is just a repetitive play on the odds, which is what I do all the time. I don't think anything different. It makes a new high. I define my new high. I set my stop, and I go and I run with it. Okay, sometimes I'm going to get stopped out, and that's fine. I've limited my risk, which I've always got to do. But in this situation, my upside is unlimited, so that's fantastic. And that's how the strategy works in effect. Okay. So that is West Gold now. That's looking pretty good. One that may be just starting, which could be an interesting one for you, one to look at. This is Bega Cheese. We've seen a nice uptrend here throughout 2004. It's gone into a consolidation phase through the most of 2005 and now starting to break higher again, a new high. Is this going to be a West Gold? Is it going to be an Orica? Is it going to fall flat and reverse? We don't know. But we've made our play, we've bought the stock and we set our stop. And if you want to see where that stop is, and any of the stocks that I run, you just go to the trading centre and all the stops are there exactly as to where I set them. Okay, so this looks pretty good. We've got some reasonable volume here. Got some reasonable volume there through here. Momentum's looking better and moving average is looking better. So we've got a trend intensity rating of 8 for Bega Cheese. Again, maybe an early one to get onto this one here. We go back to our little friend AGL Energy. Interestingly again, finally, we've now got the little pullback. This is what we're looking for. So now we've got the little rally here. We've got some good volume here. It was off a support level. All these things we look for in a reversal have occurred. It's got to the average and failed. Now it's coming back. So what do we want to see now? We want to see a high low or maybe a double bottom here. As long as it doesn't make a new low, I don't really care. But if it holds above here, turns around again, I'll probably put my little line... let's just see if I can find my little trend reversal line across here somewhere, which is around about 940, and that'll be the trigger for a reversal. So we'll wait and see how this develops, where it comes back to, and if it makes a higher low, which we would like to see, then we may well have a reversal opportunity happening. Okay, so that's AGL. I'll just put that up there so you can see what it is. Trend intensity is -8, so it's not looking that flash at the moment. So it's just really one on the watch file. Okay, so the next one I want to go through is the last stock today is Metals X. It's a smaller stock. Every now and then in my newsletter I give some inspiration for some of my players if they want to trade in the smaller end. We looked at Galan Minerals, we looked at Metals X not long ago, and there's another one, I can't remember what it was. It's also running pretty well. But Metals X, I think I actually reviewed this back in October on YouTube, this video, just as it was breaking a high here. So again, a bit like Bega Cheese, I'm just saying, well, here's an opportunity. It's making a new high. Buy it with a stop and you'll be okay. So here we have, it did rally through here. We've got good volume. Momentum is good. Again, we had a little bit of a correction. It came back to support. It's now kicked higher again on very good volume. Despite it being holidays, and momentum is good. So Metals X, trend intensity rating of 10, is doing very nicely, thank you. It's gone from about 75 up to about 123 today. So some of those little stocks can work okay, and they do work okay, but that's not really where we operate most of the time. But we like to give a little bit of flavour to our members, just if they want to have a bit of play money and have a go at some of these smaller stocks for you. Okay, so that's really the stocks I've got for today. I really wanted to show you the new high, how they work, how simple it is to play these sort of things, because the stock market, as I always say, is a very simple place to operate if we let it be, and don't overcomplicate it, because that's what humans tend to do. Okay, so take it at face value and be very, very careful. Okay, so now just really, the next one is really a slide here. It's only one slide I've got for you today. That's because it's a very simple one. New high is the simplest and the best entry that I have pretty well, because naturally the stock market trends higher over time, over a long time. If you look at a chart for the last 100 years, it just goes up and up and up. So if you buy new highs all the time, you've got to be odds on to make some money at some stage. It's a very simple process. Just don't get too close to the market. Okay, that's the main thing. So the simplest and the best is the new high. When a stock makes a new high, it is sending a clear message. It wants to go high. That's it. So it's a really simple thing to do in the stock market, and why a lot of people can't sort of get their head around this sort of thing is hard. New highs, trend reversals and new highs are two types of entries, and the new high is really a momentum play, and trend reversal is really a buy and weakness, and we tend to have that affinity with either one of those. Pattern. Some people like to buy weaknesses, some people buy momentum. Some people can't buy momentum because they can't buy new highs because they think it's too high. But that's just the way it is. So I just really give a bit of opportunity for the trend reversals, the buy and weakness traders, and the new highs, the momentum traders. But I only use 2 signals, that's all I need. And 4 indications: price, volume, moving average, and momentum. Okay, so that's the new high. Okay, keep it simple. Go through your charts. Look at them. There's plenty of new highs being made at the moment. And so that's where we're at. Okay, so that's my disclaimer. That's about really all I've got for you today. It's a fairly quick one, just because the market's going well. Again, the miners are fine. The rest of the market looks absolutely crap at the moment, apart from a couple of stocks, ALS, and there's a couple of them there, but not many of them. I just really hate the look of some of these stocks and how they're going, which does mean that we will get some really good trend reversal opportunities soon. So what I'm looking for now is I'm looking for these stocks to come down, to find some support somewhere, some buying support, some evidence that the trend down has stopped, and then an evidence of a turnaround. So that's what I'm sort of looking for now. And although there's a lot of these stocks coming down, that means there's also a lot of stock that will reverse and go up, because there's some good stocks out there that have come down a long way, whether it's those tech stocks or whether it's some of those health stocks, so Sonic Health, CS, or whatever. So so that's all for the future. That's all for the future. Okay, so that's about it today. The current mining run shows the absolute importance of discipline in following your plan and taking all signals. Okay, if you make a choice to not take one and to take some, it just doesn't work, I've got to say, because you'll miss the ones that run and you'll get the ones that don't. That's how the market is. The market slaps you around quite a lot, and just to make you real, keep you honest. Okay, so I know I'm monotonous about this and the way I'm talking about it. I know, but catching this is a rare moment in time, because this doesn't happen all the time. And when we see things like gold and what these miners are doing, it's quite extraordinary. So don't let it pass you by. Okay. All right. So the way you do that, as I say, is you take all signals and work with your stop. Okay, that's about all I've got for you today. I hope you're all having a good time enjoying this market. Today's going to be a little bit of a flattish day, but that's okay. We've had some really good up moves at the moment. So remember to watch your trends, heed your stops, keep it simple, have fun, stay safe, and I'll see you all again next week. Thanks very much.